Let's get this potion. So for the first part of this potion grind, we're going to do Tshira Ruins, aka Salad Creatures. You're going to want to press escape, go to Monster Zone info and type in Tshira. Clicking this right here will take you exactly to the node you need to be to pick up the weekly quest. This will grant you 5 pity pieces. You do need 100 of these. Also keep in mind you can only do 1 weekly each week out of the 6 weeklies for the infinite potions. Now if you get the ancient mark land to drop first, you do not need 100 pity pieces. There are 3 types of enemies that can drop the pity piece or the raw drop. That is the vine keepers, the leaf keepers, and the grove keepers. Very salad-like beings. So there are several rotations you can use here. This is the one that I decided to use. You can park your horse here. Okay, so I'm now showing you the rotation that I used most often. Now having 4 tier 4 pets and 1 tier 5 pet will allow you to have maximum pickup speed. Also, please feed your pets. So as of July 19th, 2023, the enemies at the potion grind zones respawn twice as fast, making it easier to find a spot. Dragon scale fossils drop here, and you will need 100 of these later, so hold on to them. They are very easy to get, so you have more than enough after finishing this area. Now for me getting 100 pity pieces, I had around 230% drop rate or higher every hour. I was lucky enough to get about 5 pity pieces per hour, but not every hour, just most. The spot took me about 20 hours to complete. Okay, here's an example of me doing it with 273 AP. At this AP I'd recommend a beast draft, simple crom meal, and everything possible to increase your drop rate. Alright, so let's dive in. I'll show you the rotation in action. Again, this is an example with 273 AP. You can pretty much one-shot everything. Now, I did use a tagged Valkyrie the whole time I was doing this. If you would like to know the button combination for this combo, you just simply hold spacebar and right mouse button. Almost any class would do great here considering it's a very low AP spot, but I would personally recommend a class that is very fast. Oh yeah, and Afaru the Treasure Goblin does have a chance to drop a pity piece. Okay, so there it is. That is the rotation. Also, if you see this yellow text, follow the yellow beam in the sky and go to this location. The snake will always spawn here when you see the text, and killing him will give you a chance for another pity piece.
I am very big snake.
So here's another rotation. It is just to the right of the other spot. Alright, and before we move on to the next area, I wanted to show you a very convenient tip. If you do not have a secret book of Old Moon and you would like to access your villa buffs from your tent, you can park an alt character at a villa and purchase any invitation and access it from the character you are grinding on. So since we've bought these, we're going to swap back to our other character now, so we can access them. Now all you do is press escape, go to the character's inventory, and just right click it and it should be in your inventory. Another way of doing it is pressing Ctrl F, and you can also search for it and you can take it out of the other character's inventory by right clicking it. This does require you using a maid. Alright, next stop, Manshuam Forest, home of the marshmallow people. This area took me about 25 hours and I absolutely hated it. I want to give a big shout out to the people that farmed this before the pity pieces even existed. Okay, so to get to this node, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to go to Adventure, we're going to go to Monster Zone Info, and type in MANSH for Manshuam, find Manshuam Forest, hit the weekly, will take you directly here to the node manager to get your weekly quest. Same thing as the last area, you need 100 of these or you need the raw drop. Okay, I will be showing you the area that I specifically farmed at. I found it the most effective for me, but there are several other areas you can try out if you don't like this one. Alright, this is the cave. This is where you can park your pathetic dehydrated horse. If you need to see exactly where I am, we are hanging out right here. You're just north of the node manager. There are 4 types of enemies here. All 4 of them drop the pity pieces, only the shaman and great warrior drop the full piece. We have the Manshuam Great Warrior, the Manshuam Warrior, Manshuam Fighter, and the Manshuam Shaman. I like to refer these beings as the Marshmallow People. Okay, this is the rotation that I was using. I will warn you, there's very sloppy terrain, so you can get caught on stuff. It's also easy to overclear this if you're not picking up all of your loot. Rumbling earth shards drop here, and you will need 100 of these later. After completing this area, I had immense Vietnam flashbacks. Okay, so here's an example of what it looks like when we're getting involved. This area's recommended AP is 240. Now, as much as I hated this area, I was making more silver here than I was in any of the other areas. With using level 2 scroll, I was consistently getting 19 to 20k trash. So I did record some of my stats while doing Manshuam Forest. The best hour I had was getting 8 pity pieces to drop. I did not calculate Lemuria armor or voodoo dolls, for they would just sit on the marketplace. Here's what some of my other runs looked like. I was also very surprised by the amount of Kafirs you get here. Afari the Treasure Goblin also has a chance to drop a pity piece. I also wanted to note I did not use Agris on Tshira Ruins or Manshuam Forest. As you can see throughout this session, I sometimes stop to let my pets pick up the leftover loot so I don't overclear this rotation. Alright, so that should wrap it up for Manshuam Forest. Get it out of here. Oh yeah, and I saved a majority of my trash loot except the first couple hours. This is what I made. Last area, Navarn Steppes, also known as Prisoners of Chick-fil-A. Alright, once again, press escape, adventure, monster zone info, type in NAV. Right down here is the weekly. This will take you directly to the node manager once again. Same as before, you need 100 of these or the raw drop. We are going to be focusing on these two birds which grant the pity piece and the raw drop, Farina and Farika. I'm really not sure if I pronounced those correctly. Okay, so now you do get pity pieces from killing them, but you will be getting more and the raw drop from actually tanning them with a knife. So, before we get into this, I would highly suggest putting up pre-orders for magic tanning knives unless you already have some. This gives you 80% gathering drop rate, which is crucial, but you must be at least gathering skilled 5. Okay, so if you are below the mastery, you can buy the Demi-Hard toolbox off the Pearl Shop for 1000 loyalty. This item is identical to the magic tanning knife minus not having mastery requirement. Okay, so by the end of your first hour at Navarn Steppes, you should have accumulated enough mastery to be above skilled so you can start using the magic tanning knife. I hope all of that made sense and it's not very confusing. Okay, moving on. Having a hedgehog will give you a chance of double the item drop on gather, meaning you can get 2 pity pieces instead of 1. I will be highlighting tons of different items that will be beneficial for you while tanning these birds. I'm sure you're tired of me talking, so I won't go over all of them. Just keep an eye out for items that give gathering item drop rate, and make sure you use energy potions as often as possible since tanning each bird consumes energy. Alright, let's go kill some birds. Now, I was extremely happy with how little time this took compared to the other spots. I spent maybe 8 or 9 hours here and I got 100 pity drops. The best hour I had was 15 pity pieces, which sounds ridiculous. I felt super carried without the raw drop, but I wasn't complaining. So things to consider is also using loot scrolls and a drop rate 10 buff, since the pity pieces still drop from killing the mobs, but most of your pity pieces are going to be coming from tanning these birds. And this is literally all it is. Tan all these birds and they'll all respawn back when you're done tanning them. It's a fantastic time to chain smoke cigarettes here. Now, if I left out any vital information and you would like to know, just ask in the comments and I will gladly get back to you about it. Alright, you have now finished getting all of your pieces. Congratulations. It's time to turn these puppies in. The NPC you will be heading to is Marindora. She is right outside of Grana. Make sure all your pieces are in your inventory and select these from the chat window. Now, place these items like so in your simple alchemy window. If you have the full piece already, you can skip this step. Okay, so your next step will be to turn in 100 rumbling earth shards to the Krogdala's trace manager. This node manager is near Poly Forest. You will now head over to the foreboding altar at Garmoth's nest. He is located here, very close to Garmoth. You need to give him 100 dragon scale fossils. Now all you do is align them like so and make the blue drink. Your sanity has been restored. I must say, this was really quite the journey. I was dreading so long doing this, but after it being done, feels really worth it. It was still miserable. Also, once again, huge props to the people that finished this before pity even existed. I can't imagine spending more than 100 hours on this. If you found this video useful and entertaining, please subscribe, like, and let me know in the comments how long it took you to get the infinite mana potion. Also, if I did spread any misinformation, please let me know.